What's up, y'all? One very fun guy here. So I'm gonna talk to you guys today a little bit about the difference between actively aerated compost teas and then just compost tea extracts. Both are really good organic practices. Uh, Granted that you're using organic things, but they're both really good ultimately. The main difference is you brew one versus the other. You have it in a bag and you squeeze it for about pretty much as long as you want, but 2 minutes is a good standard time. But like I said, that's like the biggest difference is one is brewed, the other is not. Another big difference is the one that you brew, the aerated compost tea. That one should actually be used as a foliar spray rather than just a soil drench, versus the compost tea extract, which should be used as the soil drench. The difference is, the reason being is when when you're brewing a compost tea, you're making those organisms start eating all that stuff, and it makes them become alive and active. And when you have active fungi and active bacteria, they produce glues that stick onto things, and then those glues will help with your pest management. It'll just help with fucking everything, and that's what you want. And that's the big thing, is the extracts. They don't do that. They're not fully active just yet. Although when you brew a compost tea, especially if you brew it too long with too much available resources for the bacteria, it'll still go anaerobic, although you're pumping air into it. So in an extract, obviously that's not happening, and there's no little quick battles or anything like that. It's just a quick little extract and boom, into the soil. Versus the tea, which is you brew it for 24 to 36 hours. You should definitely be looking at both of them under a microscope, for the record. And yeah, you just send it with the brew. You know, you should foliar that though. And another fun fact is, I don't know, you probably won't be out any crazy farming equipment, but if you are using foliar with any sort of microorganisms in there, definitely make sure you're not blowing it out at some sort of like 90-degree angle. Make sure in your whole system there's no 90-degree angles, because the reason is they have those glues. They're gonna stick to the side and then all just start sticking, and then on that little 90-degree angle, and you're gonna have problems. They're gonna start killing each other, smashing into the walls. It's just a bad situation. But yeah, that's ultimately the biggest difference between a compost tea, an actively aerated compost tea, and a compost tea extract, is the brewing process. The compost tea extract is more for a soil drench versus the brewed compost tea, which is more better for a foliar. And that's a really big difference. But the number one thing, get a microscope, look at the shit under the microscope, look how active it is, look at your fungal to bacterial ratio, look at if you have enough protozoa, amoebas, flagellates, all that shit. That's really important though, because you could be giving your stuff not what you're actually wanting to give your plants, and that's a really big problem. So definitely look at it under a microscope. Make sure you're getting really good sourced things. You don't want to just use some trash ass compost. A lot of people say that compost is biocomplete, but when looked at under a microscope, you find out it's not truly biocomplete. And then another thing, this goes not with just growing cannabis. Make sure you're brewing a tea or making a compost tea extract that's built for your plants. You can't give a super heavily bacterial compost or a compost tea extract to a fucking old growth tree. Like, they like fungi more, so make sure you're giving your plants the right nutrients within their succession. So like perennials, annuals, those things, trees, shrubs, all that shit, make sure you're giving it the right form of life that it likes. Although you can have different life all around your garden, your grow, whatever you're doing, you can have different plants because they'll feed themselves via their own exudates. You don't need to have a specific soil. You do, however, want to be giving your amendments, like your teas, your extracts, to the right plant. So make sure you're doing that too. But ultimately, that's the biggest difference between a compost tea extract and a brewed compost tea. See you guys.